All right, let's get right into it. We are living through a massive, fundamental shift in how we find information. Seriously, forget just searching anymore. We're now asking for answers directly from AI. And for anyone with a product, a service, or, an idea to share, that creates a brand new, incredibly high-stakes question. This is the question. It's what's keeping founders and marketers up at night. The game isn't about ranking number one on a search page anymore. It's about becoming the answer. And the reason everyone is completely obsessed with this is, well, because the prize for winning is absolutely huge.
So, why does this matter so much? It all comes down to this number. According to a Webflow case study, traffic that comes from large language models, LLMs, it converts 6 times higher than traffic from a traditional Google search. Let that sink in. 6 times. These aren't just clicks, these are high intent people who are ready to act.
So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how you can win in this new world. We'll look at what this new answer engine landscape is all about, why the strategy is so different from old school SEO, and then we'll walk through a real, actionable playbook, including how to win citations and how to run your very first experiment.
Okay, first things first. There is a ton of noise and misinformation out there. You've got people screaming that search is dead, that everything we know about the internet is wrong. But you know what? That's not really the whole story. The reality is that much closer to this idea. The pie isn't being resliced, it's just getting bigger. Answer engines aren't killing search. They're creating an entirely new, massive channel right on top of it. This isn't a replacement, it's a huge expansion.
So let's make sure we're all on the same page with the key term here, answer engine optimization, or AEO. It's all about this. It is the art and the science of making your brand, your product, your content so dang valuable that these new answer engines, ChatGPT, Perplexity, you name it, they just can't help but mention you. This is the game we're learning to play. Now, you might be thinking, okay, AEO, SEO, they sound pretty similar. And they're related for sure, but you absolutely cannot just apply the old rules and expect to win. The entire objective has changed. It's a whole new game. With SEO, the dream was always that number one blue link, right? But with AEO, victory looks totally different. Winning is being mentioned the most in an AI summary. It's not about one powerful backlink, it's about the sheer volume and breadth of your citations all across the web. And the best part? The pace. This isn't a 10-year game to build authority. Quick wins are genuinely on the table. And this right here, this is why AEO is such a massive, massive opportunity. Unlike SEO, where you had to spend years and a fortune building domain authority just to compete with the big guys, AEO completely levels the playing field. A brand new startup can get cited in a popular Reddit thread or a YouTube video and literally start showing up in answers the next day.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? Enough theory, let's get tactical. Here is a simple but really powerful 3-step framework to get your AEO strategy off the ground and running.
It breaks down just like this. First, you have to figure out what questions people are really asking. Second, you make sure your own website is the most comprehensive resource on the planet for those questions. And third, you go out and earn mentions across the web. That's what we're calling winning the citations. For step 1, you need to become obsessed with user intent. A great place to start is looking at the keywords your competitors are actually paying for. Those are their high-value terms. But then, you've got to mine the gold sitting inside your own company. What are people asking on sales calls? What problems do they keep bringing up in support tickets? These are the real, raw questions that people are typing into these answer engines. Now for step 2. It's not enough to just answer the main question. You have to anticipate and answer every single follow-up question someone might have. This is why we're saying the long tail is back in a huge way. The more comprehensively your page covers a topic, the more an LLM will see it as a truly authoritative source. But you have to be smart about where you focus your energy. Get this. Recent analysis shows that just 1 out of every 20 landing pages, that's only 5%, drives a staggering 85% of all traffic. The lesson here is crystal clear. Don't spread yourself thin. Find the few pages that can actually win and pour your resources into making them the absolute best answer on that topic, period. All right, let's talk about step 3 of the playbook, winning the citations. This is where it gets really interesting. This is all about getting your brand's name out there, earning mentions in all the places that LLMs look to for trusted, real-world information. So where are we looking? Well, LLMs pull from a really diverse mix of sources. Video is huge, especially if you can create content on topics that don't have a lot of video yet. User-generated content from places like Reddit and Quora is pure gold because it's seen as authentic conversation. And of course, you have trusted media affiliates and those niche industry blogs. This is your target list.
Now, when a lot of people see Reddit, their brain immediately goes to spam, right? But I'm telling you, that strategy is a complete and total failure. Trying to game the system with fake accounts and auto-posting comments will just get you banned. The winning strategy, it's almost embarrassingly simple. Be a real human. Use your real name, find relevant conversations, and provide genuinely useful information. That's it. That's how you build trust and earn the citation. And that brings us to the final part. And honestly, it might be the most important piece of this whole puzzle. AOI is a new frontier. Nobody has all the answers yet. That means the only way to know what actually works for your business is to test it rigorously. And let me be super clear about this. In a field this new, most of the expert advice or best practices you read online are just people's best guesses being repeated until they sound like facts. Don't blindly follow them. You have to validate every single strategy with your own data.
A proper scientific experiment is the only way forward. So here's how you do it. You start with a big batch of questions, let's say 200, and you split them in half. One half you leave completely alone. That's your control group. On the other half, the test group, you go and implement your strategy, whether that's building a new page or engaging on Reddit. Then you just track your share of voice, basically how often you're mentioned for both groups. If the test group's mentions go up and the control groups don't, boom, you found something that actually works. Then you just do more of that. So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this one thought. You might be sitting there thinking about whether or not to get into AEO, but the reality is it's not a choice. Your customers are already using these tools. They are asking questions about your market, your product, your competitors right now. You're in the game whether you like it or not. The only choice you have is whether you play to win. And that brings us to the final and most important question. A question for you. You have the framework, you understand the new rules. The only thing left to do is to start. So think about it. What is one small, measurable test you can run this week? Because in the world of AEO, the winners are simply going to be the ones who learn the